Alright folks, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Sure is good to see you. Hope we're all doing well. We're into the round of 16 now, over at the Indian Wells. We've only got 4 games to talk about. 4 bangers, 4 of the best. I can't wait for them. Should be short and sweet. Before we get into those, like the video for me, if you would. Get yourself subscribed to the channel. If you're not, we're making one hell of a surge onto 700 now, folks. I've been very impressed with the growth that we've had lately, so keep doing your thing and we'll keep doing ours. I appreciate you all. If you want to support the channel, there's a link in the description and the pinned comment along with the picks. And speaking of that, we managed to get not 1 but 2 donations for yesterday's picks. I am well happy with that. Frank and Kyle, shout out to you boys, means a lot to me. It does, you know it does. And then what else happened? What else are we going to talk about? Jack to Draper squad. Jack to Draper squad. How good was he? How good was he today, man? Fair play to Jensen Brooksby. I've got to tip my cap to him. It takes a certain type of guy to come back after such a layoff and be able to hold your own, more than hold your own, against someone like Jack to Draper. So fantastic from Brooksby there. You can't take nothing away from him, but I was never in doubt with me boy there. And not only did he get it done, we had a bit of the demon as well. What did he do to Hubie? Poor Hubie, man. It was sad to watch. Pains me to watch that because I'm a massive Hubie fan. I have been for years too, but that's it. I was an absolute beatdown, wasn't it? Absolute beatdown from the demon. I had a little Draper demon double on the go. Well happy with that. Happy days. Let me know. Did you get anything? Did you come close? Did you win? Did you lose? Don't be shy, share with the group. But now all that's out the way, folks, we'll talk about these matches in it. First off, we've got Talon Griekspoor and Watanuki. These have never played each other before, I don't think. No, they have not. Let's just talk about Watanuki for a moment, folks. I mean, who'd have thought? Be honest, and there's no one who thought he was going to make it this far. Me personally, I didn't think he was going to. He either got beat by Thomas Mahatch. I stand by that. I really do. He took the first set and then he ended up pulling out. Highly doubt he would have made it through that one if Mahatch was fit. But that aside, I mean, the majority of you probably already know, but for those that don't, let me just remind you, I mean, Watanuki is coming off one hell of a knee injury, and he barely played all last season, took basically the season off, one hell of a layoff that. You don't need me to tell you as well, you don't even need to be an athlete to know, the majority of times when you pick up an injury like that, not all the time, but more often than not, it's curtains. It's curtains, and especially for a tennis player, so the fact that he's even managed to come back and compete is an achievement in itself. But not only that, fucking Indian Wells, 5 games won in the Indian Wells. That's one hell of a resurgence if you ask me. You've got to respect that, folks. You've got to. You just have. He made Big Foe look like a big fucking pussy last night. He did, and it was weird. It was great to watch because he had a smile on his face for the entirety of it. You know, nothing to lose, pure freedom, no game plan, no strategy, pure vibes. I'm all for it. But I feel I'm just going to have to piss on him now, aren't I? Even after saying all that, it's just, is he going to get past Talon Griekspoor? If you want my honest opinion, folks, even though I've just said all that, let's talk about it for what it actually is. Apart from this unforeseen run in the Indian Wells, and that very lucky break against Thomas Mahatch, I'll stand by it. Ever since he's come back to the tour, he has not been that good. It's not been that great. He went 11-11 last year, but he come back right at the end, sort of as a precursor for this, I imagine. He has went 9-4 this season, 8-3 on the hard court. Really good. Admittingly, more on the challenger, I think. Let me just double check. I might be talking crap. No, they have been. All them wins apart from these ones have been on the challengers, so Went 2-1 in Canberra, 1-1 in the Australian. Yeah. He seems to have just snapped into a bit of form. That's what it seems like. But if you want my honest opinion, I'll be honest with you. I can't help but think that after a layoff, especially like the one you've just had, I'm not going to use the word overachieved because he definitely deserves to be here. 6 games into the Indian Wells, when there's so many question marks regarding your fitness, one of the worst players, actually no, probably the worst player you could get into a match with, 6 games in, is Talon Griekspoor. Am I wrong? He is. He's playing so good. He's been fantastic all week. People thought he was going to get beat by Kekmanovic. He easily could have done. That's just one of them games. Came in clutch there. Came in super clutch against Zverev. Fantastic. That's probably the best I've ever seen him play. And then he just got past Gio. Dead easy. Straight sets after that. I imagine if you're going to beat Zverev, like I said, you're probably going to beat Gio. And you're probably going to beat Watanuki, aren't you? Let's be honest. Even when it looks like, even when you think you're beating Talon Griekspoor, he will drag you right through the mud. He will drag you down with him as far as you can go. And not many have been able to angle him as of late. I think this might be the one. This first set is crucial for Watanuki. I think if Griekspoor takes this first set, not only is it a long way back for this lad, I don't think there's a way back at all. You may see him just pulling out. I don't know. I don't even want to say it and speak it into existence, because there'd be no better story for the game, would there, if Watanuki was to not only win this, but imagine if he just went on and won the tournament. Just imagine that. Unbelievable. Stranger things have happened. Getting Talon Griekspoor around 1.4, 1.45, 1.5, depending, roundabout. I think he beats him, I really do. Like I said, if Griekspoor takes that first set, he's got one hell of a mountain to climb. One hell of a mountain to climb. And I'm not so sure he's going to have the minerals to climb it. That's just my opinion, folks. I'll be going with Talon Griekspoor in this one. 1.4. I think he's safe to say he's expected to win this one. Let's just leave it at that, shall we? But we'll move on to the next one. We've got Holger Rune, Stefanos Tsitsipas. This is the one I'm looking forward to. This is the prime time match for me. Look at that head-to-head, 3-0 to Holger Rune. One of them was essentially a walkover. He barely got through 3 games of the first set. That was in the Masters Cup a couple of years ago. What are we to do with this one? I say, what are we to do with this one? This one might be probably the easiest one out of the lot, really. Stefanos Tsitsipas, innit? How could we not assume this guy's going to win at the moment? The only reason that I'll give you, the only argument I'll accept would be fitness, fatigue. I'll admit he has played a lot of games as of late, and he's won a lot as well. But does he look like slowing down? He doesn't. I've seen nothing from Tsitsipas, especially in that game against Berrettini, that would suggest he's losing a bit, or he's starting to deplete a little bit. He just looks unreal. He just looks fantastic, just as he's done since the start of Dubai. Sonego, Kachanov, Berrettini, Griekspoor, Felix, Sabo filled, Berrettini again. And he's only dropped 2 sets out of all of them. One to Kachanov, one to Berrettini, and now in hindsight, they sort of just look like he was having a set off, because he come in clutch and done them anyway. He's been unbelievable. Can't remember the last time I've seen him, or if I've ever seen him play like this. That new racket, someone needs to take that off him. Someone's going to put a hit out on that racket, aren't they? Jesus Christ. Holger Rune. Hugo Humbert got it done for me. He took the first set rather. That's all I needed. I was quite gutted he didn't get the win. I'd have loved Hugo Humbert to win that, and it went through like a trying. Very, very close game. that would have definitely taken a toll on Holger Rune. I don't care what anyone says. I don't. He'll be fancying himself in this, especially with the head-to-head. Tsitsipas has never beaten before. I don't think Holger Rune's played this version of Tsitsipas before. I don't. And, let's be real, like, Holger Rune's super inconsistent as well. I feel like, contrary to what the head-to-head would have you believe, I think Tsitsipas stands a massive chance in this. He's a favourite to win it, He's tried 3 times, failed all 3 times, but yeah, he's a favourite in this one, and we all know why. It's fairly simple, isn't it? He's just playing well better. He's playing 10 times better. Many a time have I seen Holger Rune get to this point, and have I gained, let's say, a certain level of trust over the duration of the tournament, and I go, you know what? Holger Rune's playing really good. Look at the results. But he always gets to this certain point, and look, he's not far off, but it always just seems to me that when he's in the face, when he comes face to face with like the best of the best, the people who are playing at the top of the game, he just seems to be a couple of paces off. He just seems to fall short more often than not. I don't know what it's going to take to stop Tsitsipas at the moment. A lot of people thought that was going to be a close game against Berrettini, but he just fucked them up. He did. He looked great. I think Holger Rune is going to struggle with him. It's not going to get any easier for him. He struggled against Hugo Humbert, and I think Tsitsipas would beat Hugo Humbert now. I do. Probably in straight sets. I think it'd be a lot more convincing than what Holger Rune did. That's neither here nor there. 1.7 is that? How am I going to do it? I've still got him on the outright. 20-1. Was it 19-1, 20-1? Something like that. Do I take Tsitsipas on the money? We've got to. I suppose we have to, don't we? I don't know, folks. I'm saying, look, on paper, Holger Rune did play a good game against Humbert. I can't say he didn't. Humbert looked decent as well. Holger Rune just had a little bit more. But ultimately, at the end of the day, my honest opinion, I think even if Holger Rune plays just like what he did against Hugo Humbert, maybe even a little bit better somehow, which I can't see happening, I don't think that's going to be enough to take out this version of Tsitsipas. But I was just doing everything right. He's doing everything right. Can't hit his shot wrong. Serves on point. Everything. You name it. Forehand, backhand, drop shots, fucking everything. Everything. I think it'd be rather foolish to go against Tsitsipas. Like I said the other day, I think we're just going to have to take him until the wheels fall off, and I don't want to jinx it, but it's inevitable, and that it'll happen sooner than later. He will lose a game. He's not going to go unbeaten for the rest of the season. Although playing like this, I wouldn't put it past him. I don't think it's going to be this one. He looked fresh as a daisy, fit as a fiddle against Berrettini. Holger Rune just had a slog, an absolute slog fest with Hugo Humbert. I'll be going with Tsitsipas to get that one done. As you very well know, I imagine you're on board with that. And who's next? Marcus Giron, ATP. Oh, what a nightmare. What an absolute nightmare game. It could give me an easier one to predict than this. What are we to do with this one? ATP is quite a decent favourite in this. These have actually never played each other before. I wouldn't have guessed that. Both of them have looked really good. We have to give them that. ATP smoked Gabe Diallo, and then he looked really good. Put in a decent match against Lorenzo Musetti. Personally, I thought Musetti was going to beat him. Wouldn't have been surprised if he did. Looked like he was gonna, just couldn't. Both of these have taken out top 20 players as well, haven't they? If you think about it. Well, yeah, Feast on Musetti, and then who did Marcus Giron play? Where is he? Casper Ruud. Fucking hell, did I forget that? Of course, Casper Ruud. 2-1 against Ruud, 2-1 against Popper, and solid performances all around. Oh, my mind has turned into fucking porridge just looking at this match. Marcus Giron has played one extra game, with Artifice being seeded. you gonna take, you're gonna take the youth, or you're gonna take the experience with Marcus Giron. I always say you cannot buy that experience at all. Artifice at this point in his career most definitely does have, if anything, a little bit more going for him. But this is exactly what he does. Now, I like Artifice, I'm quite an Artifice fan. You should know that by now, but this is exactly what he does. Time and time again, he puts in a performance like this, or he goes on a run like the one he's done, and he just makes me believe in him. And then it comes to the day where I'm pretty certain he's going to win, and he just lets me down. He lets me down. It's happened to me, it's happened to you. You know it has. This is just the type of spot for that to happen. It really is. I don't know. I thought Casper Ruud played decent as well. This is the other thing that's thrown me. It weren't even like a crap Casper Ruud. He was really good. Giron is obviously going to have the crowd over here in California. Artifice, like I say every time, but it seems like he can be a little bit erratic sometimes, especially when things aren't going his way. The worst thing Artifice can do is start searching for winners in a spot like this, because that forehand will be going all over the place. You know it will. You know, how many times does it look like Artifice is just playing squash and he's just blasting forehands well wide of the mark? I don't know. I hope that doesn't happen. I'd like to see Artifice get this one done, but I could not trust him to do so. This is probably an over spot if I've ever seen one. Artifice for a set as a parlay piece, but then again, I think Marcus Giron is just as good, if not better, for a parlay piece. Ben Shelton should be Karen Kachanov in straight sets as well. Wow. Okay, that makes things interesting. But we'll move on to the last one, folks. We've got Tommy Paul and Daniel Medvedev, and then I will let you get some sleep. Enjoy your day. I don't know, wherever you are, get some sleep. Good morning, good night, you know what I mean. We've got Tommy Paul, Daniel Medvedev here, head to head is 3-1 to Medvedev. Tommy Paul winning the most recent match, that was on the clay in Rome last year, but then Daniel Medvedev beat him in, that's right, you guessed it, the Indian Wells. In this very tournament, Tommy Paul took the first set 6-1 in that one. I think you'll all agree with me when I say Daniel Medvedev was playing a lot better probably a lot better around this time last season than when he was this season. I don't know, don't quote me on it. I'd assume he was. Couldn't have been playing much worse than what he was at the start of this one, that's a fact. But with that being said, it seems like since the Australian Open, we can't deny it, he has most definitely started to pick it up a little bit. You know, he's been going on some decent runs, getting to quarterfinals, this and that. But with that being said, this does usually seem to be as far as he's gotten as of late. Alright, you know, it's the Masters, the formats are different, but 2 wins, you know, back-to-back wins. He hasn't. When was he won? Last time he won 3 games back-to-back. There's not in the last 10. I don't think he's done it all season. So I don't know. Looked really good against Boo. Didn't do anything against Alex Michelsen. I don't know what happened there. Alex Michelsen, was he just not well? Or I know he had to pull out. Don't know what happened with him. Essentially a walkover. Nice bit of rest. He'll be happy with that. Tommy Paul went back and forth with Cam Norrie quite a bit in that first set, but ultimately pulled through and got that one done in straights. I was never in doubt there. Solid match, decent performance from Cam Norrie at this point. And then the game before, he played Tristan Boyer and he munched on him, didn't he? There was no question that was going to happen. No, I said it the other day, didn't I? I can't go back on what I said. This is most definitely Medvedev's wheelhouse. I'm not going to say this is his house because we're in the States. This is most definitely Tommy Paul's home. The area surrounding this stadium is most definitely the land of Tommy Paul, but you have to admit this court over in the Indian Wells is most definitely Medvedev country. And I feel like when you're in Medvedev country, more often than not, you're going to have to play Medvedev rules, aren't you? luckily enough for Tommy Paul, I think he's just the type of guy to get this one done. I do. I love me some Tommy Paul. Most definitely my favourite player from the States anyway. I'm all in on this guy. I love him. I think he can beat Medvedev, you know. I do. Medvedev's a slight favourite. That head-to-head would make you believe Tommy Paul stands very little chance, but I'll tell you this. If there's ever a time to beat Daniel Medvedev, we all know it's now. The time is now. Who's it going to be? I think this is there for the taking for Tommy Paul. It will not be easy at all. Medvedev probably should win this one, and you know what? He probably will, thinking about it. But come on, man. I still can't trust him. I can't trust him when you're winning 2 games and then getting beat, winning 2 games, getting beat. And now you've already won 2 games. Well, I say won 2 games. That one against Mickelson weren't even a game, wasn't it? So maybe that's the outlier. Maybe that's the one that'll catch me out. Maybe that doesn't count, and then this one will, and he'll beat Tommy Paul and then get beat in the quarters. Who knows? Who knows? Very, very interesting game. Can't wait to watch that. Has Tommy Paul ever beat Medvedev on the hard court? He has not. Just the once on the clay last year. A lot's changed since then. A lot of improvements from Tommy Paul, and I cannot say the same for Daniel Medvedev. Like I said, can't stress enough. If you're going to take this guy out, it's probably going to be around this time in this season too. I really like Tommy Paul for a set in the States against the, let's be honest, still not Medvedev. He's slowly on the way back there, just not quite there, not just yet. I really like Tommy Paul for a set. Perfect parlay piece if you ask me. Fuck it, maybe just take him to win the game. I don't know. I wouldn't bank on that. I really wouldn't. Even though he hasn't been in the best of form, it still feels dangerous sleeping on Medvedev, doesn't it? Even when he puts in a stinker or two, I don't know. He is no stranger to going deep in this tournament. We know that for certain. I don't know. We shall see, folks. We shall see with that one. But I'm going to leave it at that anyway. So I've got one more day in work and then I'm off for 2 weeks. Fucking go on, lad. Get in. Very well then. Very well. We absolutely crushed round 3. More of the same. For the rest of the tournament would be ideal. Absolutely ideal. But I'll be saying good night then, folks. You take it easy, yeah. You take care of yourself. You take care of one another too. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Let's go get that cash, innit? I appreciate each and every one of you. Enjoy the tennis, folks. Let's go get it again today, and I'll see you tomorrow.